Welcome, gals, to Director's Cut. Here I have our 4 directors with us out of 6. I have to my left, I have Patty Lynn, who is the Director of Chapters, Chapter Director. I have on my right Dawn Renee, who is the Connect Her Director, and Amanda, who is our Production Director. I am the CEO of G.A.L.S. In case you don't know me, I'm Mariah Young. And this year we're doing things a little bit different in 2 ways. One, we're going to pick a topic that is from our ebook called Cultivate Your Squad. And you guys can actually download this by going to the link below. And not only do you sign up and download the book, but make sure you sign up for our email because we are going to be sending you new information about events, swag, things that we have going on, and stickers, and so much more. So make sure that you go and download this. So today we're going to be talking about a topic, be present. This is in our book, and the second way that we're going to be changing things up is we're going to start involving you. So we're going to talk today about be present, and then we're going to be talking with you ladies about that too. So we hope that you will join us for that conversation. All right, so let's dive on in. So ladies, be present. I mean, that is a really important topic. And I think for 2024, with all the technology and everything that we have as distractions, when we're cultivating our squad, we need to be present. So Who wants to start? What does that mean to you?
Well, I'll start. So for me, being present is showing up and saying yes to yourself. Because my word for 2024 is intention. So doing things with intention, allowing myself to be present. Because if I'm going to spend the time to do that, then I need to be present and intentional.
Yeah, so that's good. You had to show up for yourself first, right? Before
Absolutely.
You can show up for others. And if you guys have been following Dawn Renee, you've probably seen her journey all last year of doing that. It was beautiful.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think that's great, Dawn Renee, because you've definitely walked that talk. But the intentional part I really love. And I think that that's like really what being present is all about is intention. And it's hard. It's hard to be present because we almost have to, I guess, get ourselves back to a habit of when our mind, we're in a space and our mind is wandering because, how do we bring ourselves back? So for me, I think it's a daily practice. It's not like, oh, I'm going to be present. And then we proclaim it and then move on with our life for that year. No, it's a lot more than that. So,
the being present, I was thinking, like, what's the opposite, of being present? Well, being absent, but maybe being distracted. And so when my mind is so busy, as it can just be distracted and busy with my list of things to do and whatever I'm cooking or whatever I'm doing, and then I want to, in a conversation, not attend to that, but really attend to the person and what they're saying. And I know for me, my mind can just I'm listening to you, and then, I just thought of something,
Right.
But then just okay, be present with the conversation and what is going on and what are we talking about and how can I hear you and hear your feels about it and then respond to that before my brain runs off on some tangent.
I love too that these topics are so interchangeable, right? We're not just talking about being present in a business. We're talking about, also being present for yourself and relationships. This really is a topic that is important. I mean, who has, been at dinner before and you've got your teenagers on their phone or yourself even. I've done it, where Alex is trying to talk to me and I'm on my phone, and so I think I'm paying attention, like what you said, but then he'll be like, did you even hear what I said? And I'm like,
sorry.
Oh, I guess I didn't. I'm so sorry. And so I put my phone down and okay, let's actually talk. But, how frustrating is that when you are the other person who is trying to talk to somebody and they're just on their phone? No judgment, but also a little bit because I'm like, you're not respecting me and my time and, in any possible way right now in this scenario. And so I'm trying to be better about it myself, not just for my relationships, but for me. Like, I have a bad habit of just picking up my phone, picking up my phone, picking up my phone.
And when are we on our phone?
Right.
And when are we gonna turn off? Like if I'm at a store and just chatting with my sister as I'm shopping, I have no problem with that. But when I go to the checkout, I'm like, hold on, I gotta pay attention to the cashier who's, serving me to get me checked out. I don't wanna ignore her. So I'm like, hold on or hang up so that I can relate to the human in front of me.
Yeah.
Well, and I think that's such a great point, Patty Lynn. One of the things when you're just talking about Mariah as well is that be present. It's holding space for the people in our lives. And I think we've got a very easy route now to run to, I think, almost sometimes intentionally get distracted and almost hide. So I think for me, it's also about, I guess, taking the risk of feeling, because when you're present, sometimes it's not always rainbows and unicorns and gold glitter. It's actually feeling the feels. It's actually knowing you're going to have to get messy in a relationship. If you're truly hearing what someone's talking about, and maybe they're saying one thing, but you're like, oh my goodness, there's so much more here. You're gonna have to get a little messy to be present in their life. So, taking it like a little deeper.
Right.
Yeah, that's good. And I think, so what it means to us, what are some ways that you ladies this year are being more intentional about being present for yourself, for your relationships? You choose how you want to go about that. But what are you doing in 2024 for that?
I'll share. I'm for being present for myself. So one of the things that I've being intentional about and being present for is actually my finances.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. So just intentional of like what's coming in, what's going out. Same thing with, along the lines of relationships though too. Who I spend my time with and what amounts of time, because all those times can be opportunities, but there are also times that I could be doing something more that could help someone else, or that might be more beneficial to them with my time. So
I love that. And that's so true. It doesn't have to even be relationships. You're so right. Being present with your finances. That's huge. I mean, what a game changer that's going to be for you. I love that.
Well, and for me, to be present with your relationships is, I really look at like, oh, I want to spend more time, and actually be present with them, not just attending to them when they talk, but having time together. And so then it goes to scheduling, and we have time for what is important to us. And so getting that on the calendar, and, we might think, well, I don't have time to exercise, or I don't have time to, but when you think back to a very busy time in your life, when you were doing so much, maybe someone was sick and you had to like also care for a person who was sick while you were also parenting and having a full-time job and taking care of pets, and you somehow fit it in,
Right.
so we can, if it's something that is important to us. And so I think, okay, those relationships are important to me. And so part of being present is doing it. Make either initiating some kind of event, or then just attending when someone else initiates. So, just show up and then host an event and share your life with someone and connect.
I love that. I think, one way that I'm being present for myself as well, I'll go with that one, is I've actually created with AI a schedule for non-burnout. And I recognized last year that I was just, as much as I have a capacity to do a lot because of my personality and just who I am, at the same time, there was several things that I was not giving myself time for, like self-care, actually time with my dog. I'm quite sedentary. And so there were things that I was recognizing like, ooh, I need to change this. And so putting that schedule together helped me, it suggested taking the first week of January off. And so I immediately texted my husband and was like, hey, can we actually pull this off? And he was like, yeah, I think we can. And so then after this, after vacation for Christmas, I get to go home and actually spend a week with my husband where we've guarded it. We haven't planned anything. We know that we're going to do some reflection. We know that we're going to do some future planning. But other than that, we're just going to enjoy one another's company and just be present for each other, which I think I'm so excited about it. We've never done anything like this before, but I think it's going to really help us with our relationship, our new transition of empty nesters, all of that stuff. So I'm very excited about that.
That's great. Yeah. For me, the being present, I really want to focus on that in a couple of ways. One is with my husband, being able to just make sure we're spending that time, because my life has shifted, his life has shifted. We have a lot of things going on, and by not being intentional in having those guarded times for each other. And it is very true. You kind of have to plan to be present.
Right.
Because if you don't, it's one of those things that it ends up, you just get lost in the shuffle. Mm-hmm. And then the other is absolutely for myself, showing up and being present in everything that I'm doing before I get in front of tech in the morning. Mm-hmm. I work from home for the most part, so it's very easy just to kind of roll out of bed and then, kind of roll in front of the computer or pick up the phone. And my goal is to have some devotion time, to have time to move my body, to have time to spend a few minutes with my puppies. Yes. And have that time in the morning because it's quiet. There's no one else up. And why not take advantage of that and be present in my own self and showing up for myself, for my health, for my mental health, all of that. So, yeah.
I love that. All right. So wrapping up, do you ladies have any final thoughts, tips, or tricks that you want to make sure you share before we finish today?
I'll share what works for me, as far as, especially this is kind of a new habit for a lot of people, or it's a new intention. So you really need to tell someone else. So show up in the G.A.L.S community and let us know what you're doing to be present, and we'll help keep each other accountable. But also write it down somewhere. Take just a moment, take a notebook, a piece of paper, sticky note, whatever it is, and write down one or two things. Don't try and have like a list of 20 things that you're going to do to be present, because it won't happen.
Too much. Way too much. Yeah.
I believe in the magic rule of 3. If you have 3 things, you can, those are doable.
Right.
And you can add. You can always add more to it.
Yeah.
But try, starting with those few things consistently, and give yourself the grace to get them started, but put it somewhere where you're going to see it. Put it where you're going to interact with it, because then you go, oh yeah, I need to do this. Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, I told someone else I'm going to do this. So that's what works for me.
I love it. Yeah.
I think scheduling it in. So you might mention that earlier. So my 3 are going to be schedule it in, and then putting down the phone or pausing the TV program. So I'm just like, okay, I'm going to get away from that. You're talking, turn that off, turn and be present to the situation. So that technology and scheduling it in, and just keeping mindful about what is it that I want to give my time to. So intent or mindfulness.
Absolutely. Well, mine is kind of a combination of both. It was something that I saw on the internet.
Hey, great.
But before going to bed, because my mind is always constantly going, I haven't finished the day yet, but I'm already thinking about tomorrow. So just writing kind of my things and thoughts of what I want to do tomorrow so that I can just get it out of my head and be done with it and then revisit it in the morning.
I love that. I think it's such a great practice to be grateful at the end of the day too. I love that.
Yeah.
I do know for me it is, all of a combination of all of that is, putting down the phone. Putting down the phone. Like that might just be my mantra for 2024. Put down the phone. Maybe we need a sticker with that. Put down the phone. While we want you guys to be engaged, of course, in G.A.L.S in the group and all that, we're very intentional about how often we post and what we post because we don't want you on your social media all the time. Make sure you stay in G.A.L.S.
Right.
However,
See you there.
take that break, put down the phone. And honestly, I can't think of another one that is more important than that. Just put down the phone, turn off the technology. So I'll probably just leave it at that. That's going to be my thing this year. Put down the phone.
Yep. Be
Awesome.
present.
Yes, be present. So ladies, thank you so much for joining us for this month's I'm all of a sudden my brain is going crazy. Director's cut. We are not editing that out, so you will see that we do this too. But make sure that you go ahead and download our ebook. You guys, we have some amazing content in there on how to be more authentic for yourself so that you can find friendships and cultivate your squad, your personal cheering squad, who is going to help you through the good times and the bad. We want you guys to be able to have amazing relationships and let us be a part of that. So make sure that you sign up, and then we will let you know, of course, when our date is for our phone call that you get to be a part of. We want you to join this conversation. Until next time, live creatively, friends, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Don't forget to like and subscribe.
Okay.